Excellent. I'll make a start. So welcome everyone to this webinar, A Day in the Life of a Sustainability Professional. This webinar series, A Day in the Life, shares stories and perspectives from environmental professionals working across specialisms and sectors. The series highlights the breadth of environmental careers and the diversity of routes into the sector, and this webinar has been organised by our climate action community. We are really pleased today to be joined by our speaker, Akshatha Veerendra. I won't introduce her any more than that, as you're going to hear a lot about her career today in her presentation, but thank you so much, Ax, for joining. And for all our attendees, as usual, at the end of the presentation, there will be some time for Q&A. And you can submit these at any point during the presentation using the Q&A function that you should see at the bottom of your screen. If you just type those in and submit them, I'll then read them out on your behalf later on. As I said, a massive thank you to you, Ax, for joining. I'll hand over to you and just get the slides up.
Thank you, Ethne. Thanks all for joining today. Okay, let's get started because there's quite a lot to cover. Next slide, please. Okay, today's agenda, we're going to be covering about me, a little bit about my interests, education, about my schooling, university, professional qualifications that I've covered throughout my career, volunteering, all the volunteering that I've done, why I chose sustainability as my career, my typical days at work, types of buildings, what I like about my job, a couple of example projects to give you a taste about projects, the kind of projects we work on, sustainability services we cover, the skills that you need as a sustainability professional, career progression in the UK, change of careers, if you do plan to change your career, and who inspires me. Yeah, next slide, please. A little bit about me. So I was born in Karnataka, India. As you can see, it's a small state in Karnataka, south of India, comparatively bigger when you compare it to UK. Education was both in India and UK. And I can speak about 5 languages. I can understand a few more languages. English, Kannada is spoken in Karnataka. It's the state language. Hindi is spoken in many parts of India. Tulu is spoken in Mangalore and also in Goa. It's my mother tongue. And I also learned French in my school, college, and university. Next slide, please. Okay, and this is about my experience. So I have about 20 years experience in sustainability that's mostly related to real estate. Currently, I work as the head of sustainability at MZA Consulting Engineers. I'm based in London, UK, and I do get to travel within UK and abroad, depending on the projects we work on. It's a hybrid working style, so I'm in the office about 3 days, and depending on if I have a site visit or not, and probably at home about 2 days. I'm a full member of the Institution of Environmental Sciences. Next slide, please. Some of my interests, I love plant propagation. So you may find me propagating plants, finding new species and trying to propagate them. I love composting as well. Mostly I use food waste and whatever's available at home. And I love calligraphy as well, a lot of arts, painting, drawing. I've always loved drawing, even in my university days where we had to draw like records for our biology classes. And volunteering, I do quite a lot of volunteering, as in when I have the time. And I've been doing that since my school days, really. Thank you. Next slide. And this is just to give you a bit of timeline of my education. So 1999 seems like quite far away back. So I did my GCSE, I completed it, and that is equivalent to the Indian education system, which is your 10th standard, and then my A levels in 2001 which is what you call pre-university in India. And then 2004, I did my bachelor's in science. 2006, I did my master's. And then from then on, I carried on working. Yeah, next slide, please. A little bit about my schooling, where I did it. And here are a few pictures which I've treasured throughout my life. So just wanted to share with you all. So I went to Sacred Heart Girls' School in India. It's all girls' school, which I went to. And then I did my A levels, which is pre-university at Mount Carmel College in India, which is again all women's college. The subjects that I chose were physics, chemistry, maths, and biology. I also had to choose languages because they were compulsory, and I chose English and French. And yeah, thank you. The next slide is this is where I went to university. That is my Bachelor of Science. I did from Mount Carmel College in Bangalore, India. And again, the subjects that I chose were CZE, chemistry, zoology, and environmental science. And also the languages I chose were English and French. And again, that was compulsory, so I had to pick two languages. And then I did my master's from Edinburgh University in Scotland, UK. The subject I chose was forest ecology and management from the School of Geosciences. And later on, I also did my sustainable finance short course from Cambridge University. It's part of the sustainable leadership course. So all these were quite useful for me. And then I just thought I'll include a slide on this to help international students. I know there are a lot of international students who come here for a year and who study and then who look for work. So I thought this would be helpful for you if you do plan to study and then work here. So I did a master's course in 2006, a year at the University of Edinburgh. And then after that, at that time, we had something called Fresh Talent Scotland Scheme. So this allows you to work for 2 years after your master's. So it's equivalent to post-study work, which is what's called now, I'm assuming. And then after that, I applied for Tier 1, which is a highly skilled migrants program. It's 3 years work, kind of like a work permit, but it allows you to work for any employer. So it's not tied to any specific employer. So you are allowed to work for any employer in the UK. And then after that, I applied for a Tier 1 extension. So that's another 2 years. After your 3 years, so that's totally 8 years. And then I continued to work in the UK. So that's a little bit about how it works. I'm not too sure about how it works currently. It might be slightly different, or the scheme could have changed. So please do have a look at the official website before making any decisions. Next slide, please. So these are some of the professional qualifications I've completed, but there are more than this because you continuously learn new things and then you develop that. So in BREEAM, some of the qualifications that I obtained were like BREEAM Advisory Professional, New Construction, refurbishment and fit out. So depending on the type of building, you use these schemes. So if you're assessing a domestic refurbishment, then you would attend this course, pass the exam, and then you get licensed through BRE. So BRE is the operational body for these training programs. So if you want to train in one of these, then you need to contact BRE, go on their website, and then book the course you would want to be trained in. And then I also did EPC, which is Energy Performance Certificates in the UK. And later on, I also did WELL AP and FitWell Ambassador. These focus on health and well-being in buildings. They're similar to BREEAM, but they focus on health and well-being. So these are all building certifications to assess buildings for their energy efficiency and many other things, which I'll discuss as we go through. Yeah, next slide, please. And volunteering. So I love volunteering. When I do have the time, I make an effort to volunteer. So I'm currently a member of the Institute, the Climate Action Community Steering Group, which is part of the Institution of Environmental Sciences. And I work very closely with Ethne on this and also other participants and members who are part of this group. I'm also a mentor at the MIT Department of Economics research program, where I'm mentoring students to help them choose the universities for their bachelor's or their master's, whatever they courses they want to do. So I support with my experience and how they can choose the career path they want to. And these are a few pictures from one of the events that I gave a climate change presentation at the Harrow Boys School. It's one of the prestigious schools in London. And I had the opportunity to visit the school and be invited there and give a presentation and interact with the students. I was really excited, and this was an amazing opportunity, which I really cherish. The next slide. Yes, so this is another event at the British International Education Association. This was in London and it was held at the Westminster City Hall, where I was invited as a judge, speaker, and awards presenter. And it was great to interact with students who were there from all over the world, from China, Malaysia, Singapore. So there were like so many different countries, students, and it was a great opportunity to also interact with diplomats and others who are knowledgeable in this field. And the theme for it was sustainable solutions for food crops, food growing. Yeah. And this is a little bit about the local groups. I also volunteer in my local community. And as you can see, I'm part of the Harrow Litter group, the biodiversity group, and the rivers group. So every opportunity I get, I make the most of it. So the Harrow Litter Pickers group, I'll explain a little bit about that on the next slide. Yeah. So I would encourage everyone to get involved wherever you are in with your local community. You may have the council local rep who can give you more information. This is what's happening in my community, and I have been actively involved in litter picking and where it's possible. And these are the 3 steps that any of you can follow, which is reporting fly tips. So always make sure that you report any fly tips that you see. Don't ignore them. And then you can also encourage them to dispose of rubbish responsibly, because you see that the bins overflow and this is not a good sight to see. And also the third thing is, if you want to volunteer, and this would be really helpful for your career, and you can actually see what happens there and how you can manage this. And leadership is a very good thing that you can develop throughout your career. And biodiversity groups. This group, so there's on the slides previously, there was a picture with a group of people carrying hearts, a blue heart, on which was, so this is about the No More Way, which means that all these public spaces, which are and the ground, the verges can be converted to like wildlife meadows, wildflower meadows, and this would really attract bees, birds, and increase the biodiversity. So yeah, I think it's really good if you can also get involved in your local communities where there's an opportunity to get involved. Yeah. So the next one, I'm just checking the time. Sorry about that. Why I chose sustainability as my career. So mainly because I was inspired to make a difference. I've always loved science. It's a very holistic career where it's not specific to just like one part of the environmental science. So in like the BREEAM certification, I cover like materials, acoustics, there's energy. So it's very holistic. It's not just related to one part of it. And then it's one of my favorite subject, biology, obviously, and I love nature. I have great interest in gardening, plant propagating. I love traveling, and I love being outdoors as well. So yeah, these were some of the reasons why I chose my career, but there are more than this. The next slide, please. Typical days at work. I know it's a day in the life, but these are the typical kind of work that I carry out. So things like report writing, I review works, and then there's modeling. So I've been energy modeling, and then I look at how the buildings can be made more energy efficient and the operational part of it, how they compare to the way they've designed buildings. And then I work on bids and fee proposals. So it's very varied. And some days I'm in meetings with the client, design teams, project managers. It really depends. And then I'm also carrying out site surveys, audits. And I'm working on projects as well. So the projects can be very varied. They could be like BREEAM, well assessment, or fit well assessment. They vary. And I could be also busy with administration, like project management, uh, where things like you get involved with things like invoicing, um, updating the project where you are, and I'm also involved with training staff, mentoring degree apprentices. So this is part of in our company, we have like degree apprenticeships, and I am involved with mentoring the students there as well as my own volunteering, which I do outside of work. And then I also attend and give like CPDs, webinars, and I attend events. Like one of the latest events I attended was Bloomberg Sustainable Business Summit, which was very insightful. And otherwise, I'm also speaking or I'm at other socials, podcasts. Yeah, next slide, please. These are just few of the pictures. I don't have many pictures, but these are what I managed to um, collect. So the one there in the corner is the energy modeling that I did on one of the projects where I modeled the building from the drawings available, and then I input the technical details into it, which then allows you to obtain the results, which can be used for further analysis. And then technical report writing as well. That's part of what I do. And these are few site visits I carried out. One was for the commercial building site visit, industrial site visit, where you have to make sure that you have the right PP protective clothing. And this was for a foundry in the corner. You see the industrial site visit. And so, which means you need to have protective glasses and earplugs. And yeah, so that was for that. And the hospital site visit, because it was a hospital with operation theaters, I needed to change into the hospital clothing. And that's why you see that I'm in different attires at different times. Next slide, please. Yeah. And this one gives you a little bit of how my other days are. So this was a picture from the Bloomberg Sustainable Business Summit, which I attended, which was really exciting. And we got to see the Bloomberg office, which was very sustainable, and it's achieved an outstanding BREEAM rating. And this is my desk at my office. And below that, you see it's one of the days where we have a special guest. Um, Yeah. And the other one was a podcast which we were recording. Yeah. Thank you. Next slide, please. These are the type of buildings that we cover, and we almost cover all types of building, as you can see. So there's public, commercial, multi-residential. Other buildings can be buildings like your sports centers or bespoke buildings. So it really depends. Public buildings can be your schools, hospitals, prisons, courts. And we also cover refurbishment. So if the refurbishment could be domestic or non-domestic, depending on what the client needs. We also carry out international assessments, BREEAM international assessments, and also sustainability assessments of whatever the need. BREEAM in use is for existing operational buildings. We also cover that. Next slide, please. What I like about my job, I love making a difference. I never stop learning, inspiring others, and I like interacting with a wide range of people. I meet people from all different countries and who speak different languages. So this is really interesting. I get to travel for business. Sometimes it depends on the project. Like I've traveled to Wales, Ireland, Chicago, Turkey. Throughout my career, there's been many opportunities, but also I get to work in London. So it's not just traveling outside. It depends on the project. I love being outdoors on site surveys um, because we spend a huge amount of time at desk working on reports and technical reviews. And the job satisfaction it brings, yes, definitely. Meetings, I get to attend meetings. And I love to look at buildings which are designed with the biophilic elements in them. Next slide, please. Uh, I've included a couple of my projects which were nominated for BREEAM Awards. And this one is Chancery Lane. This was in London. It was a refurbishment project. The target that we achieved was an excellent rating. Next slide, please. This is another project, Craven Hill Gardens, which was also nominated for BREEAM Global Awards, and it achieved an excellent rating. It's again in London, very old. The facade, you can see it's an old building, but internally modern with solar panels. So yeah. Next slide, please. And what are the services that we cover? We cover a wide range of services which we can help you with. BREEAM, which is a building assessment of which is run through BRE, Building Research Establishment. And well, we look at health and well-being in buildings, and Fitwell also do leadership in energy and environmental design. And Home Quality Mark is now new construction, as you all know. But it used to be called Code for Sustainable Homes, and it changed again. And then again, it's now new construction, so it keeps changing. So let's see where it goes. But yeah, that's where we are now in new construction. Next slide, please. These are the other services, sustainable reports for planning. We also work with Greater London Authority, GLA, when they need reports for it. Whole life carbon assessment for planning and BREEAM. We also produce waste reports depending on which stage of the project they are at. It could be pre-demolition, construction, or operation. And part G is the water calculations. We also carry out water calculations if needed. And there are other audits that we carry out, such as ISO 14001, 5001, and past 2080 certifications as well. And these are focusing on energy. We carry out energy performance certificates for both domestic and non-domestic buildings, Part L calculations, that's energy modeling, display energy certificates for public buildings, energy reports for planning, and also you need energy reports for BREEAM assessment as evidence. We also carry out low zero carbon feasibility reports and energy saving opportunity scheme, ESOS. Next slide, please. Some of the skills that you need in sustainability, of course, communication. Good. It's very handy to have good communication skills, but it's your writing skill, presentation skills, or you also have to be passionate about what you do. It's not enough if you just have communication skills. You are a lifelong student. You need to be open to learning because learning really helps. So you don't shut off once you've learned something. You continue to learn, and that's why we attend a lot of CPDs and webinars. So we grow our knowledge from sharing. Yeah. And business skills as well. You get to work on things like invoicing, or project management, things like that. And people skills, obviously, you interact with a lot of people throughout your career. You're working with people from different countries. So it's very good to have open mind and learn from others. And obviously, knowledge about your subject. It's great to have knowledge. People listen to you when you know about what you're talking. So it really helps to be knowledgeable in your own field, whatever you choose. Next slide, please. Okay, this is a typical, I mean, it really depends on the company you work for, but this is what I have seen throughout my career and what I see in most of the companies which have a sustainability team. And this is how it looks like. You start off as your graduate, so you've done your university and you're taken in as a graduate consultant. And then you probably spend a year there, year or two, and then you become an assistant consultant, and then a consultant after a few more years, a senior consultant, and then principal, and then associate, and it prepares you to become an associate director. And the last one, it really depends on the company you work for. They can call it director, head of sustainability, or chief sustainability officer. So it can vary. And also, it doesn't have to take this long because it depends on how good you are at what you do. I know a lot of my own colleagues who were probably senior consultant, and they went on to open their own consultancy. So it really depends how comfortable you are. Um, there's no real rush. Take your own time and learn and enjoy your journey. Next slide, please. Can I change careers? Yes, of course, you can change your careers at any age. There's no age limit. You can either do a course related to sustainability, or you can find a placement or a work experience role with any of the companies that are offering this. And this will help you to get started and then also learn from your colleagues and then give you a taste of how it looks like your career. Next slide, please. Yeah, perfect timing. I think we've almost come to the end of the presentation, and I just want to leave with this who inspires me. There are a lot of people who inspire me. Of course, my family, my dad, who's been a physician, doctor, and that's how I really love biology. But also my family who are into education, and my sister who's also an architect. So I really am inspired by them, but also because I love nature. I think Jane Goodall and David Attenborough really inspire me with all the knowledge that they share, which is immense, and I'm so grateful. So that brings us to the end, and I'll hand it over to Ethne. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Ax. That was brilliant. It was so good to hear an overview of your career journey, but also kind of reflection on the skills that you need and the importance of kind of passion and lifelong learning as well. So thank you so much for that. And I can definitely share some of those inspirations as well that you mentioned there. So thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks for all of you watching as well. As Ax mentioned, we're now going to go into the Q&A section. So please do put your questions in the Q&A box. And I can see we've already got one coming in, so I'll kick straight off with those. So Ax, what has been your favorite project that you've worked on so far in your career?
Oh, there have been many. I mean, it's not fair to name one, but I would say every project has been, I've put so much effort into them. So, yeah, most of my projects have been good, and I really enjoyed working on them. So it wouldn't be fair to pick one, I would say. So yeah, every project is my best.
That's good to hear. Thank you.
Yes.
And I wondered if you could talk a little bit more about how you got in specifically to kind of the built environment side of sustainability. So was that a conscious decision? It's something that just kind of happened naturally. Could you reflect a little bit on kind of your interest in the
Yes.
built environment?
Yeah, soon after I did my forest ecology and management, and then I was out looking for opportunity related to forestry. But at that time, what happened was I was in Scotland, and it required me to drive to places, and a lot of the opportunities had a requirement in their job spec which said you have to drive. And I didn't have my license at that time. I never used to drive. So after that, I took on short-term roles in waste management, in energy. And by the time I had my driver's license, so I moved to London, and then I didn't need to drive. So it just happened that, the opportunities were there, which were more like I didn't need to drive. And that's when I took what was available and developed from there. But at the moment, I think I'm happy where I am working in the built environment. And yeah.
Amazing. That all makes sense. Thank you. I also can't drive and live in London, so I know that feeling. And could you reflect on what one of your favorite things is about your role currently?
Yes. So at my current company, I work at MZA Consulting Engineers. We work on a lot of government projects, so which are like prisons, courts. So these are different to what I've done. Worked on a lot of offices, but also a few of the projects, such as prisons. So this gives me more exposure to government projects, and I find this challenging, and I love to work more on this.
Amazing. Thank you. And actually, that links really well to the next question that someone's asked, which
Mhm.
is through your sustainability projects, can you share some challenges that you've encountered and how you address them?
Yes, I think the first thing would be people skills. So it's very important that you are able to work with people, um, because you will find that as you grow in your career, you will work with people at different levels. They could be like your juniors or your seniors, your managers, and you should be able to interact with them in a way that they don't, kind of feel like offended or take it in the wrong negative way. So the way you provide your feedback should be very constructive and positive. I mean, I learned it just, as I went along, but it's something that nobody taught me, like, this is how you have to be. But I think it really helps to have these skills because these are skills which are not taught, but then you pick them up. It's also good to have a mentor, like how at IES, obviously you have mentors. If anyone does plan to change their careers, then IES definitely helps if you become a member and you have a mentor assigned to you. So that is really helpful, I think.
Great, thank you so much. And you talked a lot in your presentation around all of the different activities that you've been involved with throughout your education and
Mm.
work, including a lot of volunteering, which was great to see. Um, I also have a question here from an attendee asking, did you do any work experience to get your first job? Or was it more kind of volunteering based?
It was a mix of both. So I did volunteer for about a month, and then I also did contracting. So initially, I took up roles like a waste researcher, where I got to work with the council, and Yes, so it's a mix of volunteering as well as paid opportunity. So I would definitely advise you to take whatever opportunity comes along. And if you're kind of able to get a paid role in sustainability at the same time volunteer, then definitely do that. But it's also important to be passionate about your career path that you wish to take and not divert.
Great, thank you so much. And another thing you mentioned in your presentation was around the importance, especially in a role like sustainability, to do lifelong learning. And basically, you need a lot of different skills and knowledge to kind of to progress within your career. Could you talk a little bit about how you go about kind of making sure you're getting this lifelong learning and what you
Mhm.
do to for in terms of CPD?
Yes, as I mean, I'm lucky that in our company they really do encourage us to learn. And what I do is sign up to any learning website where they offer these, even like, such as IES or any other website, BRE, do a lot of training. So, and the Energy Institute. There are many other websites where, they offer this. There's a sustainable leadership website, which I found. So I just sign up to that. Also, some of it, because I work for engineering consultancy, there are like we have some of the technical aspects that we cover, such as solar panels. There could be a webinar on that. So they do let us know that there's a webinar. If you wish to attend, then you can register. So that happens. But I also actively look for, webinars and events that I can attend and interact with people and learn from others. So I think it's important that you are very active and you look for it because knowledge doesn't come to you, you go to it.
That's such a good point. Thank you. And another question here from an attendee, which is, how is AI changing your role, and the work of your company?
Yes, we do see that, a lot of it is automated, but there is a slow progress. Although I would love to see that, a lot happens there, but in that field. But since I've been working, I see very slow development in that, apart from the tools like, Gemini and other things that we can use. But the tools that we use, like for BRE and for BREEAM assessment, which we have a website, but there are also third-party websites that you can use to track and progress. And there are numerous AI tools that are available in the market for carbon management. And I do see a lot of emails, and which I receive. It's hard to reply to each one of them, but I do get a lot of emails to say that they would like to show me what they have, the AI tools. Yeah, so I think there is a lot, and this is going to change in few years, but we are yet to wait and see how it's going to impact us all.
That makes a lot of sense. It's still a little bit
Hmm.
unclear, isn't it? And very
Yeah, yeah.
fast-paced. Thank you. And I thought just to finish us off, and thank you so much for the presentation, is can you give what would be your kind of headline bit of advice to someone who's just looking to set out in an environmental career?
I would just say grab the opportunity. It's never late, and yeah, just go for it, You may be surprised that you may surprise yourself, really, that you love this career.
Amazing. Well, thank you once again, Axe. It's been really great to hear about your career path. And thank
Yeah.
you to all of our attendees as well. As usual, this webinar has been recorded and it will be made available on our YouTube channel. If you are watching the recording on YouTube, please do subscribe to our channel, like the video, and hit the bell to gain notifications of new content. The next IES webinar is on the 12th of August, so that's next week, and is on Wheel Jane, operating and optimizing the UK's flagship mine water treatment plant. And as ever, you can register for this on the IES website, along with all of our other events. If you are an IES member, don't forget to record your attendance at this webinar on our CPD tool, which we've been talking about a lot today. You can do this by logging into the IES members area. And if you're not a member, please do consider joining the IES to support your professional development. Thank you so much, Axe. Have a great rest of your day. I hope all the rest of you do as well. See you soon.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you for
Thank you.
joining.